Hello, whoever.
I think we're live now.
Yeah,
It was like taking forever. I was like, oh, okay, here
yeah.
we go. We're
No,
gonna go slow.
I got the notice we're live streaming. Yes,
There you go. Okay.
somewhere. Who knows where? No, it says YouTube.
Ah, there we go. We got it. We're live streaming now. Here we go. Uh, so welcome everybody. We are here tonight to have an open talk, straight talk table. That's right. We're doing straight talk because straight talk means we're sharing truthful stories. And we have Joseph Leonard in
You're
here.
doing it
I was gonna do
again.
the French again, and he's gonna share his story on his father's heart and stroke, and we're just gonna share a bunch of stories tonight. So anybody that'll pop in, if you want to pop in, wherever you are around the globe, if you'd like to come in and share your story about heart and stroke, heart disease, heart illness, anything that you're living with that considers the heart, we really want to just have your stories tonight. So it's open table. We all respect each other and we all give each other time to express themselves and share the story. So we're going to start with Joseph tonight, and anybody that pops in, and we'll continue on, and that's how we're going to
Yeah.
flow for the next couple of hours, and then we're going to upstream this to a bunch of other channels, and we're just going to keep getting the awareness out there. So Joseph, I'm going to give you the stage now.
All right. Yeah, Liz may respect you, but she'll screw up your name.
I told you, I time out in the corner.
Yeah, for those of you who can see, not hear, my background, Joseph M. Leonard. It's not French, even though it looks like Leonard.
Leonard,
Leonard without an
not
O.
Leonard, Leonard.
Right, Leonard without an O, and I'm the author of Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You, and How to Write a Book and Get It Published, Hints, Tips, and Techniques. And even if you're not looking to write or publish a book, think of it as a tell-all without the name dropping, behind the scenes look at what authors go through to get that book that you have on your bookshelf. But yeah, we're here today to talk about heart disease and stroke and things of that nature. And my father, Thaddeus M. Leonard Jr., and you could see a tribute to him on my terrorstrikes.info page, terrorstrikes.info/The Polka Kings. He had the band Ted Leonard Jr. and The Polka Kings. So you could check that out. And yeah, he had strokes a few different times. You know, a couple were mild, and then his last one was pretty severe. His last one actually killed him. But the one that before that was pretty severe and put him in bed, in a hospital bed in the bedroom for many years, which is horrible. That's not living, that's just existing, which is why I wanted to come on and honor him and honor this cause and help this fundraiser, so that at some point, hopefully some additional research can show something. Obviously, if you're getting older, like my doctor tells me, I don't need to take a baby aspirin every day, but I still do. I'm going to. I mean, I'm 60. My dad had strokes. So I mean, just knowing the risk. I mean, a baby aspirin a day isn't, unless if you're taking a dozen other medications that could potentially thin your blood as a side effect, and you wouldn't want that on top of that. But it isn't going to hurt you unless if you're, anemic or easily bleed or don't clot in general, then it could be harmful. But probably 99% of people, and again, obviously, I'm speaking from my own learned background from having dealt with heart and stroke through my father, and just the education. I'm no doctor. I'm a former IT guy. So, I mean, we need the disclaimer, Joseph M. Leonard does not give doctor advice. I'm just giving my personal opinion. Consult your doctor, right? But like
Consult the doctors.
yeah, but like I say, I ignore my doctor. So I take the St. Joseph baby aspirin every day, just to be safe. Because again, I don't see it, given my situation anyway. Again, you should indeed consult the doctor though, because your situation, if you have other pills, it could be an issue. But for the average person, it can't really do you any harm. It's such a low dose type thing. You don't want to take regular general aspirin every day. That's
Yeah.
bad for your system. That can hurt the
So what's the
kidney and the
difference,
liver.
Joseph?
Well, the low dose comes with those special coatings on it
Oh,
to
okay.
help, help not upset the stomach and the system and that. And again, not being a doctor, I don't know exactly what all, other than the fact that it acts as an anticoagulant so that your blood thins a little bit, not as much as a regular aspirin would, which again, a regular aspirin every day could potentially make your blood way too thin and cause other problems. So, but yeah, the low dose was designed specifically for that, to thin it a little, so to try to help keep the blood vessel in the brain area flow going. I mean, at least what I know of it, again, not being a doctor, right?
Yeah. So Joseph, does it run in the family, heart stroke?
You know what? My dad's dad had an inflamed heart, which is of course different than a stroke, but it's still a circulatory issue. So again, that's why to me it makes sense just to take the precaution. Yeah, anyone who has heart issues that run in the family, but again, a heart issue could be if your blood is too thin. Therein again why you should consult a doctor. Check out your family history, discuss your family history. Hopefully, like I'm 60, so the doctors I see now aren't the family doctors of before, so they don't have our family history, and I wouldn't know where to go about getting it. I'm sure it's possible to
Yeah.
get records of your father, your mother, your grandfathers and grandmothers, so that you could present them to a doctor during a thorough exam to see any of your proclivities, anything that you would be susceptible to. And of course, though, they do a lot of that through the DNA testing, right? So that might be irrelevant. That may be a throwback to a bygone era that doesn't exist anymore. They take saliva, and a couple days later, they pretty much know so much
Yeah.
more about you than they probably could even just reading the medical charts. But
Well, and I think something that's really important to get out there is it affects any age, right? It doesn't affect like just elderlies, not just people that are over 60. It affects kids.
yeah,
Children are born with heart murmurs, heart conditions. Danny, who's walking with me on Saturday, he had 8 open heart surgeries
mhm,
because of a defective heart. And we got to really get that message out there that a lot of people are affected with heart conditions, heart
yeah,
attacks, heart strokes. It runs in my family. All my aunts and uncles all had a heart attack. Is my siblings, it runs in the family. So I'm really, really touched on this topic. Like, this subject is home base for me. And this is why I'm
mhm,
doing so much of the heart and stroke
yeah,
awareness as well.
yeah,
Hearing Danny's story was just kind of like the push on the flame, light up the flame and just get going. So
yeah. Well, I have a heart valve issue. at some point, I need to have a heart valve replacement. So if your walk were in my city, I still wouldn't be walking. I'd support it, but I can't walk because of my valve issue.
Well, and that's another thing we need to get out there, right? Is you can still support a walking event and not walk. You can support it by attending, asking for information, getting the awareness out there, doing like you're doing, Joseph. You're sharing the event for a lot of people. You're in the United States, I'm in Canada. This Ride for Heart is actually in Cornwall, Ontario, but it's happening all around Canada. So if you're in Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, Sudbury, if you're anywhere, you can do this event. There are different events that are going on throughout the month of June. If you want to walk, run, ride, and the donations that are being raised are going to the Ride for Heart. And yesterday during an interview, Lynn, who's working with us from the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada, she said that they've been in business for 36 years and they've raised over $79 million.
Yeah, now that's what I want. Now, obviously, we're later post, you can put links and everything in. So since we're live stream, we need to, of course, give out verbally where you can find your event. Now, though I donated,
Yes.
I didn't really sponsor anyone doing a walk. Now, is there a difference between the donation and a sponsorship? Do they have those separate things? And where can they go to sign up to help?
If they'd like to be a sponsor or a donor for this event, they can go directly to the Heart and Stroke Foundation. You could go to the one in the United States. You can go to the one in Canada. I don't know if this event is in the United States. I know that it is a part of Canada. So the Foundation of Canada is supporting this event. So in BC, Vancouver, Alberta, Saskatchewan, wherever you are, if you want to create a walk, a run, a ride, you can have 5 people, you can have 2 people, and you just say, I'm walking for a Ride for Heart, and you're raising money, and you can just make your own personal. And that's what you've done, Joseph, is when you made your donation, you actually made a personal page. And with that personal page, you can say, I'm walking on behalf of Danny and Liz for the Ride for Heart. And I'm walking in the United States. And then if I have another tea time guest, that's like, I have another one that's in Pakistan who tried to sign up, but they couldn't. So in their country, it might not be valid, but they can still walk. You can still make a video. You can still say, I support this event, and get the word out there, because the more word we get, the more awareness we get. And you know how I am about awareness. You're the same way. If we can just get the awareness out there of this event, this happens every year in the month of June, because June is Heart and Stroke Month.
Can you, my link is buried somewhere in an email somewhere. So can you put your link in the chat, and I will go. I use tinyURL. I have a paid account. So what I could do, put your link in the chat, and I will very quickly go over to tinyURL and create a shortcut so that we can give that out over the air for people to very quickly be able, because if we give out a long link, nobody's going to remember it. So that's why I always use tinyURL.
Yeah, let me grab that for you, Joseph, and I'll let you share a little bit more on your dad's story, and I'm going to grab that for you.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, you'll be able to find yours a lot easier than wherever I filed mine when I signed up. Of course, I'd like people to sign up under my name in honor of my dad, but the main thing is that they give. Again, if your family doesn't have a history of this, doesn't mean it may not affect you. And I know we're live streaming on YouTube, so I got to be careful what I say. But given that what thing that came from where, and those things that they claim are vaccines, strokes, blood clotting, all that is on the rise. Now, again, we're on YouTube, so I'm not going to make a correlation or a causation or correlation here. I'm just saying it is an undeniable fact. You could go to the CDC in the US website and see strokes on the rise, blood clotting, death on the rise, heart attacks on the rise. Now, again, whatever the causation or correlation or none whatsoever, it's on the rise, and it's happening in people with no family history of such. So you could be helping yourself here down the line, and if not others. And again, I know I could give this out. Terror Strikes, easy to remember. My book's on the screen there. terrorstrikes.info/charity. terrorstrikes.info/charity. Liz's thing, I think my link is in that page. So of course, don't need the tiny URL. You could go to terrorstrikes.info/charity and find the Heart Ride, as well as some other charities that I support. So I didn't think of that. So yeah, I won't create a tiny URL. We won't need it. terrorstrikes.info/charity should be easy enough for people to remember to find Liz's event there.
Yeah, I just found it as you were saying it. I was just like, I knew I have it somewhere. I have so much on my walls. I've been posting the event, posting this talk tonight, posting the tea time guests that are coming up on Thursday. My page is just full all the time. So I'm gonna also put it into the YouTube comment section so people can find it there as well.
Yeah, terrorstrikes.info, either /charity or charities, either one, the singular or the plural, will get you to the page.
There you go. So I've added it into the thing so then people can, and I'm also going to put the join the link for the walk. If you'd like to join, if you'd like to make a donation, if you'd like to make your own page, create up until the end of June, this is available to do. You can do it in your community. You can do it in your country. And you can also just do a video and say that you're supporting Miss Liz and Danny. So, there's many different ways of supporting this event.
Yeah, and remember, I don't remember where they used to say it, what charity. I think it was a charity, but they used the old line. I don't ever hear it anymore. The life you save may be your own. Do you remember hearing that line before, Liz?
Absolutely.
In fact, I'm going to jump over while we're on here right now over to DuckDuckGo and type in what charity used to use the tag line. If I could type right, if I could spell it, the life you save could be your own. And let's see if it comes up. 101 best organ donation slogans examples. The life you save may be your own summary. Is a short, it's saying it's a short story by Flannery O'Connor in which one armed drifter, Tom, agrees to marry somebody's daughter. Well, that's certainly not what I was talking about, but that's what came up under DuckDuckGo. Organ donation. So, that's what it was for. The organ here in the United States, on our driver's licenses, they have the organ donor thing. They probably have that in Canada too, right? Where when you get your driver's license, you can indicate whether you would allow your organs to be harvested if you're in a fatal accident. So yeah, that's where that's. Well, obviously you can't save your own life if you're dying and giving an organ, but it has something to do with that, apparently. So the life you save may be someone in your family,
You just never know what life you're saving, right? And even by having an open conversation, you don't know what life you're giving hope to. Somebody might be struggling right now and saying, you know what, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I don't understand it. I don't know where the support is. There's a lot of different organizations out there regarding heart disease, heart awareness, heart strokes, heart attacks. There's a lot of information out there. So, go to DuckDuckGo, go to Google, you can reach out. The Ride for
Yeah,
Heart is, Google it and you can find out more about it as well.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. A
it-
charity search, Google is certainly going to be helpful for that. We've talked during our tea time. I prefer DuckDuckGo, Free Spoke, or Jibberoo for any serious informational searches. Like if I'm researching a topic, I don't want to use Google because I know Google suppresses results, but they're not going to suppress you from getting information about heart disease and charities related to it and things like that. So just be aware, obviously, shopping is great. Google, definitely. If I'm looking for something to buy, Google is great. But, anything that I know certain people are going to want to suppress certain information for their own agendas, then for sure I go to DuckDuckGo, Free Spoke, or Jibberoo rather than Google.
yeah. And a lot of them I've never even heard of. Like, Joseph, you're opening so many doors for me because I'm just like, okay, where's that one now? Like, you have me searching things. I'm like,
Yeah,
where do I
well,
find this now?
Free Spoke is like a DuckDuckGo. Free Spoke is fairly new, so they're just building their database and generating. But it is indeed a free speech. They won't suppress any results, and also they won't track your searches site like DuckDuckGo and Jibberoo. They protect your privacy.
Yeah. And if anybody would like to know more about the event that's happening on Saturday, you can check out my Facebook page, my LinkedIn page, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You'll see it all over. There's different ways that you can join. You can click the link, make a donation. You can create your own personal page like Joseph has done. Joseph, again, thank you so much for all of the promotion that you've done on this and just bringing the awareness of this event. I want to give a special shout out to the newspapers that have been writing the stories on us as well. The news channel here in Cornwall, Cogeco TV. Thank you for your support and putting this event out there for us, and the radio stations as well who are putting shout out. So it is out there. If you need any more information, you're more than welcome to reach out to me, Miss Liz, at my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. You can reach me out on any of my platforms. Just send me a private DM and I can answer any questions you have. And if I don't know the answers, I can always find somebody who does know the answer. So
Right. Yeah. None of us know everything, obviously. And we all have to admit we are ignorant of certain things. You're only stupid if you're unwilling to learn and to reach out to others who do know things that we do not. And yeah, like we discussed during my tea time, I used to vacation up on Sparrow Lake at Aurelia. Rest in peace, Gordon Lightfoot, native son of Aurelia. I haven't been over to Canada in a couple decades now. So if my health were better and I weren't on disability, I had the budget to do so. I'd love to be able to come up there for this so I could meet you in person and participate. But just my health won't allow it, nor my budget, really. But I wanted to at least give something and put forth an effort of some kind to help, again, in honor of my father, Thaddeus M. Leonard, creator of Teddy Leonard Jr. and the Polka Kings, because a bunch of different people stole that name later. If you just search the Polka Kings without Ted Leonard Jr., you might find somebody else.
yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Everyone is out taking everybody else's stuff instead of creating their own stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And there was a movie called The Polka Kings too. I forget who was in it. And but anyway, yeah. Eh, How about not being the king? How about being the polka prince? Be original.
right. So Joseph, if you could come to Canada, we would love to have you, but I understand that you can't. And I do have stepdaughters in Michigan, so you never know, I might just pop over to Michigan and
Hey,
come and
yeah,
have a
if
tea
you're
with you.
ever
So
in Michigan, obviously you'll have to, yeah, let me know that you're here and we could get together for lunch or something. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, that's my goal, is to meet all of my guests in person, and I want to really collaborate with all of my guests. So if they have something, and that's why I do tea time, is so that I can get to
yeah,
know people and that I can help them as well. Joseph, you helped me a lot since just meeting you. Like in the last few weeks, you've helped me more than a lot of people out there, and you've opened a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities. And
yeah.
that's what it is, right? You just give people the time,
Well,
and work.
yeah, I like sharing. I like, uh, in the book Terror Strikes, uh, it's not a book about death, but of life and living. And that's my point here,
Yep.
supporting life and giving others and helping others to live, right? So that's part of that whole point and process. I feel better. I'm happier if I'm able to help somebody else, even in just little ways. Like when I introduced you to Retalk, the
Yeah, and I
social
wasn't even
media.
saying that right. I was calling it Real Talk. I was like,
Yeah,
when you did the show with Michael, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even say that right. Like, oh my goodness, Liz.
that's right. Yeah, when you're in Michigan, if I meet you, I'm going to tattoo your forehead. It's Leonard without an O, not Leonard, not French. Yeah. So every time you look in a mirror, you'll see the tattoo. I'll tattoo it in reverse.
And I should know that, because I have like a third cousin that's called Leonard, and
Yeah.
I should know, because it's spelled exactly the same. It's just my French kicks in, and
Oh,
then
it's understandable. Yeah. That
right.
that
So
massive French connection with Quebec up there. And let me throw this out. I'm not necessarily here to promote my books, but the helping other thing. If you've got heart disease or stroke story, perhaps that you could uh, embellish, or that's not the word I want, but expound upon, or you've got other ideas for stories in your head and in your heart, you could put a stroke subplot as part of a grander story of your or someone else's fictional life, which is why I wrote How to Write a Book and Get It Published, Hints, Tips, and Techniques. So maybe somebody in this audience has a book in them. Maybe they have, if you're a doctor, are there any doctors watching this? Maybe you've got a nonfiction book in you. How to Write a Book and Get It Published can help you get that out there to help others. And at the same time, you'll be helping yourself by, of course, if you're a doctor, promoting your practice or whatever, promoting your business or promoting yourself. But my point here is you may not make a whole lot of money. I'm not.
you don't make money with books.
Yeah, I'm not rich like Stephen King, not going to be, or James Patterson. Score It says my writing is most like Dean Koontz. He does pretty well too. He's got a lot of money. I'm broke on disability, barely getting by. But you know what? I feel great presenting these and helping others to be happy through my books. Helping others helps myself to be happy. So, monetary thing, and who knows, you might make a bunch of money if it goes viral, you never know. But that can't be your main motivation, but it can be a great, I can't remember her name, but she has a show about self-discovery, and I was on her show, talking about that. So yeah, maybe you can bring heart awareness, stroke awareness, by putting that in even a fictional book. And you're not like, just providing entertainment. You're providing wonderful, great information that can be helpful to people at the same time.
Well, and I think sharing your story does help, it's like my podium back there that says sharing is healing. If I wouldn't have shared my story about other things, I would not be where I am today. I would not have the voice I have today. And I think, Joseph, that's how you are as well. What you're writing is it actually helped you.
It's cathartic, as they say, to pull a $3 word, out of the hat, which is sometimes an issue. My brain just kind of works that way. When I go through the editing process with any of my publications, my editor usually comes back and say, don't make your reader work so hard. How about we tone down some of these words? You don't want somebody to be having to read your book and go to a dictionary.
Yeah. I'm the same way. If it gets too big and then I'm just okay. Like, you've lost me as a reader. If I can't understand what I'm reading, then you've lost me. I like a little bit of depth in my stories and when I'm reading, but if it's like words I've never ever heard, I'm just like, I'm all confused with the story. I get frustrated and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to even read
unless it's presented in a way that the flow of the story and the sentence structure and the paragraph makes it clear the intent and purpose of that word. So you glean what that word means even without having to look it up. That can work. And I forgot where I was going to go with that, but
oh, he went to the left again.
Yeah.
He's out playing baseball again. He's trying to catch up from the last time we
I'm
got
out
together.
in left field again. Yeah, here I am. I'm ready to get on the cruise ship when I was supposed to be at the train station. Yeah.
I'm always losing this man. This man is all over. He's like trying to get in and getting home runs. He's trying to catch up from the last time. When you were at tea time, Joseph, I was winning. I was hitting those home runs like no tomorrow. And you're just trying to come back in and get those points, But I think it's really deeply important. Like tonight, this conversation, we put it out there for the Straight Talk, is we want people to share their stories. Sharing your stories helps another person. Joseph sharing your story has helped me. Me sharing my story has helped you. This is what it is. It's the dots and the connections in life that we want to just join and share stories and get it out there. The awareness. I'm all about awareness. So if we can get the awareness out there about this Ride for Heart, if we can get the awareness out there about heart and stroke, heart attacks, heart diseases, this is what I'm here for. This is why I'm sharing tonight. And this is why I've given my personal time up so that anyone out there who has a story, who wants their story heard, you can just jump on. The Zoom link is attached to the flyer that I've been posting on Miss Liz's Tea Time page. If you need a Zoom link, send me a private DM and I will send it to you gladly and you can join us.
Yeah.
Tonight is just an open free talk. We're just doing straight talk. We're doing truth and honest table talk. We're not doing any rounds tables. There's no nights and there's
That's right.
That's
the joke I made.
We had a straight table here. Like
that's the joke I made with Liz earlier. Now, if it's a round table, I won't show up. I've got to be at a straight table and I need to be the king at the head of the table. Right. None of this round table, everybody equal stuff. Yeah. But yeah, the light bulb went on. I remember what it was, unless if you're creating words, like creating a new slang term or adding a new thing into the nomenclature, like I created the term geisha in my book. But then, of course, you need to explain it. But again, that's off the beaten path. But again, like Liz is saying, my How to Write a Book can help you perhaps create a story that indeed will be cathartic for you and helpful to others. Whether it be about heart and stroke, whatever, not limited to that, but today we're here honoring those that have heart issues or lost someone to a heart issue or stroke, because again, a stroke really isn't an issue of the heart, it's an issue of blood vessels collapsing and not allowing blood through. So yeah, heart disease usually can lead to a stroke because it leads to the plaque. Again, I'm not a doctor, but plaque buildup on the blood vessels, which then constricts the flow, which causes the stroke. And that's where the baby aspirin usually can help with the flow and your blood pressure, again, because too low of blood pressure can be a problem also. It doesn't flow fast enough and properly enough to help clear plaque off the vessel walls, and that buildup then leads to stroke. So I'm glad that I was able to get back to that, a little bit of more medical information, not advice, because I'm not a doctor, consult your doctor, but I do have that knowledge I can share. And like I've said on other shows, trust but verify. Don't take my word for anything on any subject. Go to DuckDuckGo, Jibberoo, FreeSpoke, and look for yourself. Of course, WebMD. I mean, people usually think of that site. WebMD is a pretty much a go-to site for medical type information. Confirm or deny things that you want to find out there, if nothing else.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, Joseph, because a heart stroke is with the mind, and that's why we have the mind on the poster for the Straight Talk, is because it affects the brain. Just because we say heart, it doesn't mean that it affects the heart. It affects other organs in our bodies and that as well. There's different heart diseases, heart murmurs, heart valve, like you need a heart valve. There's different things out there, but the month of June is heart and stroke month. So anytime in the month of June, if you walk, you run, you ride, and you want to just say, I want to support the Ride for Heart in any location that you are in, I believe it's only in Canada, but I'm going to look into it and see if it's the United States, but you can still support this event that's going on Saturday by saying, you know what, I'm walking in Michigan, I'm walking in Detroit, I'm walking in Australia for Danny and Liz because I support them.
And donating money to you in Canada, it's not like the research is walled off at the Canadian border. Helping in Canada helps everywhere else. Any researcher that makes new discoveries is going to benefit the planet. So if you're in BFE, this event, you can still support it. Again, terrorstrikes.info/charity. Go there, look it up, give a little bit, just $5. All right. Can you give $5? Just give $5.
And if you give a $5 donation, Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada will give you a tax receipt. So anything $5 and up, you will receive a tax receipt straight from Heart and Stroke Foundation. None of the proceeds are coming to me or Danny. They are going all to the Heart and Stroke Foundation. We are just walking and bringing two people together. Danny was a guest in January on Tea Time. Joseph was a guest just a few weeks ago on Tea Time. If you want to find all of these Tea Time guests and want to know more on their stories, you can check out the YouTube channel that we're live streaming to right now. And, just share. Sharing is healing, like I have in the back.
But as you said, you have on the invite to the Zoom or the announcement about what we're doing here today, you have a picture of the mind. Because again, the issue, I mean, if blood doesn't get out your heart, obviously your whole body's affected. But a stroke is, again, those vessels contract, not contrasting, contracting. There's the word, contracting, not a contract like you
You
sign.
just had to put a little bit of
contra-
coral in you so that you could move the train.
Shrinking is the word I want. They shrink or they get blocked by plaque, and blood doesn't properly flow to parts of the brain, and brain cells die. And if the wrong parts of the brain die off due to lack of blood and oxygen, it's mainly the oxygen the blood is carrying to those cells, it can paralyze, like it did my dad, his left side, arm and leg, and he was confined to the hospital bed then for years. After that, we had to take care of him until he passed. So I mean, this is important stuff. I mean, again, this can kill you, this can kill a friend, it can kill a family member, this is only my opinion, again, because I said my dad was confined to a bed, and to me, that's not living, that's just existing. So I dare say, in my opinion, actually being paralyzed and confined after a stroke, to me, is worse than it killing you, because your life is over. You're, I don't want to say vegetable, but it could lead to that. I mean, we have a TV ad. I can't remember the actor's name. He's in that show Blackish. I don't watch that show, but I could picture him in my head. Can't think of his name, but he does a stroke awareness PSA. And indeed, I mean, they show it could put you here, and they show a wheelchair, or it could put you here in the hospital bed, and then they they show a EKG flatline, or it could kill you. And he says, too far, too much. That's the point, right? You've got to be aware of these things. And to me, again, yeah, if I have a stroke, I pray it kills me rather than puts me in a bed, making my sister have to take care of me for God knows how long after that. But obviously the goal is to avoid a stroke, hence taking the baby aspirin. And again, I gotta get that heart valve taken care of at some point. It's not hypercritical at this point. I mean, you see me up and about and ranting and raving. I'm not falling over, passing out.
And he's still playing baseball, trying to catch up.
All right, I'm done with you. Goodbye.
That's okay. I'm going home. I'm doing a home run.
Anyway, yeah, that's throwback to the show we did together. You got to see the tea time to get the tongue-in-cheek inside joke here. Anyway, dead air is never good, but we both kind of went silent there.
We just kind of went, ooh, where'd Miss Liz go? Miss Liz just kind of zoned out. I just have people messaging me for other tea times, and I'm like, I will get to you in a bit.
Yeah. That reminds me, I forgot to unplug my phone, so it didn't ring. So far, so good.
But I think tonight it was really just about bringing the awareness, getting the conversation going. We really just need to keep talking. And again, our event for Two Hearts Coming Together, I do have a poster here somewhere.
Yeah.
I do know.
While you're looking that up, I will say, me, we've only known each other a month, 2 months, but you know me already well enough to know I can definitely talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. In fact, I co-host Savaged Unfiltered, and sometimes Michael has to say, shut up, stop, slow down, put a period in there somewhere.
I have watched you and Michael a lot, and Michael has like, Joseph, okay, that's enough, slow it down. And I've seen you on the Maverick show as well, Mavericks News. That's what I do is I just start stalking all of my tea time guests afterwards, and I'm like, oh, that's where you are. Like,
well, we're Savage Unfiltered podcast. Of course, you can find on iHeart, Spotify, everywhere, plus Rumble channel. We're just starting to build the Rumble channel though, because I prefer video. You can see hand gestures, the interaction of the host and the guest and that. But yeah, I get a million things in my head and I try to get them all out my mouth at the same time. Going 1,000 miles a minute.
That's got to be the Michigan water. But I did find a poster. So here's the poster. We have them all over Cornwall. They are at the complex. They're at the Cornwall Mall. They were at the radio station. They are at the Happy Popcorn. So if you see this and you want to join, you can scan the QR code here and you can join that in that way as well. Or you can reach out to my email here at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. I will answer you within 24 hours. I get back to everybody right away. I'm really quick on that. But if you'd like to join us again, Saturday, June 24th from 2 to 4, we are meeting at the Bandshell and we will be walking in the park. So we will be walking down the waterfront. So it's a beautiful scenery of the St. Lawrence River. You can feed the ducks, you can stop, you can walk. And then if you'd like a hot dog or a hamburger, Weenie's up on the hill, up by the splash pad where the kids are. The bathrooms are open and you can grab yourself a hot dog or a hamburger and a drink. We're keeping it very simple this year because it's our first year. And then next year we'll be doing it in Embrun where Danny lives. So, which is about 25 minutes from me. So this is going to be a yearly event that we're going to be doing together. We want to keep this event together. Two Hearts came together on a podcast and we want to keep that going. We also picked this date because Two Hearts actually did come together on June 24th. Danny and his wife will be celebrating their 23rd wedding anniversary. So there's a lot of ways of Two Hearts coming together.
A lot of meaning here. A lot of different tentacles, kind of a lot of different streams and strands all coming together. And you were mentioning definitely feed the birds, feed the fish, feed the ducks. But I tell you, them damn Canadian geese, I want to take a shotgun to them. I'm
with you on that one. I'm not in
here.
Canada. I don't like the guys. They hiss like snakes. I don't like them at all. I was riding a bike a few years ago and they actually attacked me and I've never ridden a bike since. I'm just like, I'm out of here. No, I'm done. I will walk. I will run. And if you see Miss Liz running, you better run too.
That reminds me of that Detroit Zoo. There are 4 wild, well, they're wild, but they're semi-domesticated because they're allowed to roam the entire zoo freely, the walkways that the humans walk on. And of course, you can buy peanuts and pellets to feed them as well as the other animals as you're going around. Those are beautiful, beautiful birds.
Yeah,
but anyway.
I don't mind the birds, but the Canadian geese, me and them have issues. I'm just like, we're not doing you. I am terrified of them. You will see me do a whole loop around. I will turn around. I will do a detour. Like if they're in my way, I'm going the other way. Like I don't like them at all. So yeah, they really do give me a fear. Like I thought they were nice. I was like pretty birds, and all of a sudden they came. And I was like,
they are
hissing, like they're hissing like a snake. And I was like, that's not the bird doing that.
Mean, nasty creatures.
They are. They're beautiful birds, but they're not to be trusted.
They're great from a distance, right?
Yep.
Yeah. They're great to look at from afar. But anyway, we've gone here. I've derailed my train again, and we're way off in left field again.
But that's what conversations are, right? They're open discussions, and we just, take the flow. And this is what this table is. It's just a straight table talk. We're just having a conversation.
Speaking of going with the flow, I've got to hit the restroom. But just kidding.
And he's out. You
know me, I cannot.
3 strikes, you're out.
I can never pass on a really dumb pun. So I just had to put that in there because people were talking about something very, very serious. But like in my book, you've got to keep a sense of humor about anything and everything. You've got to laugh or you'll go crazy. In Terror Strikes, I talk about Patch Adams. You know, if you don't know who that is, Robin Williams has that movie Patch about, you know, how he brought humor into the hospitals to help heal, because laughter, of course, may not necessarily be the best medicine. It is helpful. It creates endorphins. It gets the blood flowing. So laughter is important for your or anyone else's good health.
Yep.
That's
We need, and we talked about this on Tea Time, you know, we need to put some laughter into it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like your book, Terror Strikes, doesn't mean that it's hard. It's about life, and heart strokes are about life. They affect
Yeah.
lives. So, you know, and I think that just by sharing stories tonight, Joseph, of your
Right.
father
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
books and how to write a book, you know, getting your stories out there so that you
Yeah.
can help somebody else. There's so many different anthologies out there. You can write your own personal book. You know, I strongly suggest you check out Joseph. Joseph he can be a clown at times, but he's an amazing man. Like he really, his heart is in the right place. And
I
that's all I
wrote
do
the
is
book to share to others because I care. And again, you hear the title, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you. It's not fear porn. Like I say, again, it's not about death. It's about life and living. It's about trying to preserve life, which is why I'm here today, talking with Liz.
Well, I want to thank you, Joseph. I think we talked for an hour and
Did we already?
wrap it up so my
Looking up
heart
at the
can get a little
clock
bit of
now. Yeah.
rest before Saturday, because Saturday is a huge day. We're going to be meeting at the bench health for 2 o'clock. So if you'd like to join us and you're in the Cornwall area or surrounding areas and you'd like to just come down and check out Cornwall as well. Check out the waterfront. There's a big convention as well going on with the Joho Witnesses. So if you're part of that, if you want to come over to the bench and just want to walk with us for 5-10 minutes, or just come and say hi or make a little donation, we're there for you. At the end of the day, it's about the awareness for me and Danny. We just really wanted to bring the awareness of how many people are affected by this each and every year. Again, the Ride for Heart
Yeah.
has raised over $79 million in 36 years. So it's not a new thing. It's been in business for 36 years. So it just goes to show you how long this has been affecting people's lives. So
Yeah, just don't ask the Jehovah's Witness to tell me about Jehovah, because then it'll be like a conversation with me. You'll be there 24 hours a day later with them talking your ear off like I do to Liz.
yeah. But the event is open to anybody. If you'd like to join us, you'd like to come and talk to us, Lynn from the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada, she will be there. She will have some information. She will also have the square. So if you'd like to make a donation, you can go up and you can make a donation with that as well. If you'd like to make a donation on the spot, me and Danny, we also have the QR code. You can come up to us. It's going to be on our phone. There's many different ways. If you'd like to meet Danny in person, stay around after the walk. Take a walk with us and then come and meet and greet. And again, it is their wedding anniversary. So I really, really think that two hearts did come together for a reason. And the meaning behind it is really a blessing, because we were supposed to do this back in May and we decided to change it until June. So
it's a little, the weather's better in June too, obviously, especially you're up north. I used to vacation up there for the Canadian Thanksgiving, and because our Thanksgiving is in November, yours is what, October, right? So it's a lot colder up there in October than it is here. So your Thanksgiving, you got to take a winter coat up for your Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh, even in the summertime now we got crazy weather. Like I think out in Alberta yesterday they got snow in summertime. Like they had forest fires, now they got snow. I'm just like, the weather has gone crazy. So yeah, it's just, if you guys can make it out, we would really appreciate it. If you can make it and you're in a different location and you'd still like the support, you can go to the link. The link is in the chat comments. It's also on the YouTube channel in the comments. Also, Joseph's link is in there for the charities. Check out some of the other charities that he's a part of. Joseph, again, thank you for sitting with me tonight and just
Oh, no
sharing.
problem. Thank you, Liz,
appreciate it.
for doing this. Again, a real chance to honor my father as well as help others. As you know from my book, it's about helping.
And you wanted to sit at the end of the table, so I guess you are at the end of the table. I'm at one end, you're at the other end, so
Yeah,
it
even if
worked out
it's
good.
Even if it's round, right? There's two ends. There's only two of us.
There's no
Yeah.
round table, we're doing straight table. And
Yeah,
that's what we mean by straight table, it's just straight talk. It's just open, honest talk. So again, Joseph, thank you so much for joining me. And for everybody out there, if you'd like to know more about this event, or if you'd like to know more about heart and stroke, reach out to Heart and Stroke Foundations in your countries. There are numerous ones. There's some in the United States, there's some in Canada, there's some in the UK. They are all over. Just go to DuckDuckGo or all the other ones that Joseph mentioned throughout the show, and share this. Just share it away, even if after it's past June 24th. The awareness out there, the conversation, just keep it going, because that's what I want. I want the conversation to keep going. So let's just keep talking about the heart and getting that heart awareness out there. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in. I
take care
appreciate
and
it.
God bless.
Thank you so much, Joseph, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good. Bye-bye. Love you. Take care. God bless.